Live from Austin, Texas, where we're rebranding as the Taxan Texans. It's Retro Pals with Danny and Alex. Hello, Alex.
Hi, Danny.
That was a tongue twister.
Yeehaw! I sure love
the Taxan Texans tongue twisters.
Opening soon at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas.
Hell yeah! Looking forward to it. Hi, folks. How you doing? It's another Wednesday. It's time for another Retro Pal stream.
Yeah.
We're getting serious with this one. We're going back to our roots. No more of that other stuff we were playing a couple weeks ago. No more Windows 95 games. I'm moving things back to console, where it belongs. Mm-hmm. And we're going with the first and best console. Neither of those are true. The NES. NES is still pretty cool. It's got a lot of stories, got a lot of history, and tonight we are going to explore some of that history because we are doing our patented NES Publisher Spotlight.
Yes, I love these. These are actually real fun because they are easy to edit.
Remember, they are patented, so don't try and rip us off. We created this idea.
Copyright us.
Copyright us. All right,
check the copyright filings.
Yeah. Check in with the U.S. Secret Service or whoever keeps that.
The FBI, CIA.
It's probably the FBI.
One of them, yeah.
All right, so if you're new to this kind of thing, what we do during these publisher spotlights is we play every single game a single publisher published here in the States for the NES. A lot of these companies make dozens of games for the NES, so this can often get pretty chaotic, pretty lightning round-ish. Mm-hmm. Tonight we got a lineup of exactly 19 games, so I figure that's just enough to devote 5 minutes to each. We have our timer up, and we're going to do this back to back to back, so once the action starts, it don't stop.
It sure don't.
This week we polled our patrons, asked them what kind of stream you wanted to see. We gave them options like Kimco Seta, Just LJN.
I love that!
Or FCI Milton Bradley. A lot of them got interest. It was actually pretty close until the very last day of voting when Taxan and Vic Tokai pulled ahead by one single vote.
Damn.
That's all it takes, folks. Always do your part in democracy. Always vote. That's how Vic Tokai gets in office. And no one wants that.
No one.
So we're going to do it. We're starting off with Taxan in tonight's first half. And starting in the second half, after the intermission, we will cover every single game that Vic Tokai published for the NES here in North America.
I'm really excited about that. I really have a soft spot for Vic Tokai.
Oh yeah, they did some weird good stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. So we're starting off with Taxan. Now, what y'all know about Taxan? Because there isn't much to know, frankly.
I know one single solitary fact about Taxan, and that is that they are Naxat spelled backwards.
That is true.
Like Control 2.
If you're familiar with the company Naxat Soft, they made a whole bunch of games for the TurboGrafx 16, like Devil's Crush, Alien Crush, a whole bunch of others. Meanwhile, their evil twin is Taxan, which was their pretty much US-based sister company. So while Naxat Soft was creating games on their own in Japan, Taxan was more of a licensor and publisher. They wanted to get in on the US NES market because, as we've seen before, it was hot, 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 as the song says. They were feeling hot, hot, hot.
Thanks, Buster Poindexter.
No problem. All right, so Taxan. Mm-hmm. They weren't known to anyone for a while, and then they burst onto the scene in 1989 with their very first game, which was Star Soldier. January 1989, it starts here. So they started a little bit late. They were a late bloomer a la American Sammy. They weren't there from the beginning like Bandai.
They were shy.
They wanted to verify that the market was there. And so they dipped their toes into the NES market by publishing Star Soldier.
Thank you to Game Quarter, who's been subscribed to us for 7 months. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Ooh, I love these colors.
It's a good color scheme, yeah. Mm-hmm. So this was a pretty old game at the time. I believe this was 86 in Japan. This followed up on Star Force and really put Hudson Soft on the map in terms of shoot-'em-ups and early Famicom games. Let's play it.
Hey, this music is good already.
Yeah, this is a definite improvement over Star Force, I will say. I keep getting those games mixed up because they have very similar names.
Got the clock started, so you've only got 5 minutes per game. So.
Okay, I got 5 minutes to show off Star Soldier.
Okay.
Anyone know any Star Soldier fun facts? For me, I think this game, from what I've seen anyway, this game was what really sold turbo controllers in Japan. Because this game was famously demonstrated with Hudson's, what was he, marketing manager or something? Takahashi Meijin.
Mm-hmm.
This is how he got his fame. Because there's one point where you need to rapid fire real fast to kill a boss really quickly, and that gives you a lot of bonus points. And turns out what you need to do is do that 16 shots per second thing right point blank at the boss. That's how you do it.
The only fun fact anyone knows about this game, it seems like, is that it's associated with the first Hudson Caravan.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Hudson's Caravan was a multi-year thing where it was pretty much like those blockbuster competitions they had back on the Super Nintendo and Genesis days. Only you had to play shoot-'em-ups or whatever Hudson's latest game was. There were several of those stretching into the TurboGrafx 16 era, but this was the first. This game's also unique because you can push up in front of these backgrounds, some of them anyway, and you duck under them like that. It's very confusing, and I don't like it at all, which is why none of their other games ever did that again. But still, it's different.
It's cool.
They tried something.
Oh, thank you to Battlehork for resubscribed. They've been subscribed 17 months in a row. Thank you. Battlehork says, Vic Tokai sounds like the name of a lounge singer. Yes, Vic Tokai was the guy who absolutely ruined Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, that's him. Let's get him. Oh, this is that boss you need to fire 16 times for.
Ooh.
I did it.
How? I didn't even see that!
I have Turbo Fire.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, it suffices to say Turbo Fire is very, very handy in this game. And that's how Hudson made their market for their special rapid-fire controllers for the Famicom. You gotta have a game that requires super fast button input. And when the kids can't push 16 times a second, that's when you make a special peripheral.
Takahashi Meijin indeed.
That's me. And there's a lot of other fun secrets in the same vein around this, like right before the boss you had to destroy a couple of structures simultaneously. That gives you a bonus. Really, this is what kicked off score attack gameplay here on the NES, I think. I'd also say that this compares very favorably to other shooters that were being released for the NES at the time, because if you remember, the thing to do back then was to publish old Famicom games here in the States, because if you haven't seen it yet, it's new to you.
You know, that's very true. It's very, very true.
And yet I don't know why Hudson itself didn't pick this up, because they were pretty active at the time, making stuff like Milon's Secret Castle, Hudson's Adventure Island. For whatever reason, they just passed up old Star Soldier. I guess they thought it was old hat by this point.
Well, I mean, it kind of is. I mean, it was, what, 1989? So...
88.
88.
No, wait, beginning of 89, you're right. Yeah, considering this is from 86, it's kind of an old pull, but I'd say it still holds up pretty well. Not a bad first release.
Alright, BBH also does mention that NES licensees could only release 6 games a year, so they probably let someone else take care of it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, Hudson didn't really have an unlimited slate of games to publish. They had to make their choices very carefully. Other companies got around that by, like, establishing what you call subsidiaries.
Yeah, like Konami's Ultra, and... God, I think Acclaim did that too.
Acclaim did that on the Genesis with Flying Edge. I don't know why. I don't think the Genesis had limits. They just felt like doing that.
But yeah. We don't want people to know this is us.
Also, side note, there is a special edition of this game that was programmed by our friend BMF54123. It was showcased at one of the SGEs from years past.
Oh, wow.
He added FMVs and CD audio to this game just for our little party, which was amazing.
How do you do that? Well,
You'll have to ask him.
I guess I will.
That version's never been seen again. It was a special limited time only thing. You could beat a level and then see, like, a GIF. It was cool.
Well, that's about 5 minutes there, Danny.
Okay, so there's Star Soldier, once a Hudson game, turned into a Taxan game. And I guess that worked out pretty well for them, because they kept on publishing games. So after this, they hit the green light for their next 3 releases. These games all came out in April of 1989, and we're going to cover those right now. You ready?
Yes.
Get your finger on that timer button, because
I'm ready.
we gotta make some time. First of these games was a little game called Fist of the North Star.
Wow.
Yep, they went ahead and licensed one of the terrible Fist of the North Star games that were released in Japan.
Alright.
This isn't the first Fist of the North Star or Hokuto no Ken game. That game was completely awful. This is actually Hokuto no Ken 2. And I guess around this time they were localizing the anime or the manga over here? Someone was.
I think so, yeah, but I forget who it was at this time.
Was Dark Horse around back then?
Yes, they were. I think they were working with Studio Proteus, but
Okay.
for their manga stuff, but I have no clue.
So if you've ever played the original Hokuto no Ken, this is very similar, only it's way better. You can still punch people to make their heads explode. It's less graphic in this game.
They're a bunch of tiny little sprites!
Mm-hmm. You can jump way up to the status bar at the top of the screen.
Whee!
There's occasional bosses, and they explode real nice when you punch them. He also has a nice strut. I like that.
Viz was doing the manga around this time. Alright, okay, cool.
That made sense. So you can think of this, this duology we're doing tonight, Taxan and Vic Tokai, as basically being Kenshiro versus Duke Togo. Two extreme manga and anime badasses fighting it out on the NES. Yeah, Vic Tokai had that Golgo 13 license. Meanwhile, Taxan, they were just like, Fist of the North Star?
That works, right?
Americans like Kenshiro, right?
They like this exploding stuff, right?
Yeah, exploding heads.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't like it?
It's
There's a dude who does this.
It's family fun for everyone.
This is a cool move. Oh, I found the secret.
Just explode his...
Just gonna sit over here and hold that turbo button.
Oh boy.
Oh, he just generated the hell out of me.
Oh, you're destroying his knees. Oh.
Aw. Okay, let's try kicks this
He
time.
died.
But this is fully translated. For some reason, they brought this over, translating all the names pretty faithfully, as far as I know. You were just Ken, not Kenshiro. Good old Ken. Head Exploding Ken is what they called him. Did anyone play this back in the day? I'm curious to know. If so, I feel kind of bad for you. There's worse games, but damn.
Yeah, like the first one.
Yeah.
I'm pretty... Didn't this come out on... Didn't they have Fist of the North Star game for, what was that, the Master System?
It was the Genesis, actually.
Genesis, okay.
The Genesis actually launched with a localization of a Hokuto no Ken game, where they scrubbed all the licensed stuff out of it and called it Last Battle.
Ah, okay.
So in a way, Hokuto no Ken had a lot of representation over here in the States, even if it wasn't under its old name.
Ah, yeah, and Streamline Pictures, I saw it earlier in chat, but Streamline Pictures did bring out the movie around this time as well, so there you go.
Alright, so that's actually good timing then.
Mm-hmm.
You got a popular license, you can exploit it. Oh, I found out how to do the cool kicks. Check it out.
Oh, he hates... Uh-oh. Oh,
he hated the hell out of that.
Nasty. Oh.
Gaylor City Group.
Aha! Well, there was a Fist of the North Star game on the Master System, but it was just called Black Belt.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. Yeah, they did that too, where they just scrubbed all the licensed stuff, and they called it Black Belt. You're just a generic karate dude, not Kenshiro.
Oh, man. You know what? I'd probably have played Black Belt, and I just don't remember it, but did people also explode in Black Belt?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Wonderful.
That is a trademark.
Wonderful.
So I guess out of the 3 Hokuto no Ken games that got releases in 89 and 90, one of them kept their Fist of the North Star license. The other 2 were just like, karate guy in the future. That's what this is about.
That's close enough.
Some weird stuff in this game. Like, you notice how I went back to this screen, it teleported me to the lower floor for some reason?
Mm-hmm.
You can also do weird shit like this.
Oh, do the thing where you bend over and it looks like you've got...
No, that's Mario. There's no Kintama Kenshiro. Unfortunately.
Alright, you got 30 seconds left.
Okay, so Fist of the North Star, big muscly guy makes other big muscly guys explode. Could have been worse, could have been the first game, but boy, I would have picked literally anything else other than this game.
Wait, Big Fan Vader is in the American Fist of the North Star live-action movie?
I'd believe that.
Holy moly, I gotta see that sometime. Okay.
Alright, let's move on to April's second game. Perfect.
That was really good.
Perfect 5 minutes of Fist of the North Star. So their second game out in April of '89 was a game called Mystery Quest.
Oh, I remember this game.
This was originally released for Famicom Disk System in Japan, where it was called How-kun no something. The main character's name is How. This was published under the DOG label, which was Square Enix's boutique label, I guess.
Boutique is a nice way to
And
say it.
and there's even some developer crossover, because this music is by Nobuo Uematsu, and it's probably his worst work.
What?
I mean, it's catchy. It's just kind of, he probably spent like 5 minutes working on this.
And I'm just like, please, I have other things to do. Okay, fine. Do mystery quest music. There, done. I assume all musicians,
That's exactly how that happened.
Yeah, Geddy Lee's in there being like, I'm making Tom Sawyer.
That's how Rush makes their music. You're right.
It is. It's how all musicians work. Let's see here.
So this game, with this game, Taxan had a side scroller. Right away, they were competing with Super Mario Brothers. Oh, look at this! I didn't know you could do this.
Oh.
That's kind of weird.
I'm so sorry. It looks like he's kind of pissing on the buildings when he does that.
Yeah, it's going all over. Man, he has no control.
Okay, I'm not the only. Okay, BB. Okay, other people agree. Okay, thank you. Now,
I actually know a couple of kids who had this. I think this game was fairly popular for whatever reason. Maybe like KB was selling it for $20 or something.
Yeah, I'm seeing some folks in chat saying they played it as a kid, so...
Yeah, this was weirdly popular. I know it wasn't like super popular like Mario, but still it was out there. Just have to wonder why, because the game is honestly not that good. It's no Fist of the North Star.
Oh, absolutely not. Those little scorpions.
You have any experience with this game?
I do, but I think it was one of those things where I was just going through a list of games and playing them, and I played this one and I was like, yep, this sure is a game, and then I moved on after like 2 minutes.
Yeah, there's not much to say or really anything about this game.
You've officially played this game longer than I have now. Is this a platformer?
This is a platformer. It's kind of exploration-based, because later on it adds like... You go back to the beginning of the level when you reach the end of one, and you gotta find a secret exit to continue. There's also a bunch of hidden items you have to find to progress. It eventually turns into like a mini Tower of Jiraga, which is unfortunate. But it's pleasant enough, and for early '89, you maybe had a chance of releasing this and getting away with it, which they did.
When was this game originally released? Because it does have that early Famicom feel to it.
I want to say this was 86 or 87, shortly after the FDS came out.
Yeah, because all those DOG games came out pretty close to the earlier days of the FDS. Electric Boogaloo says it came out in 1987.
Okay, makes sense. So this was a couple years old at this point. Still compares pretty favorably to a lot of the other junk available. You could make a niche in the market with this. I need some vitality.
Good question. Smevel Bear asks, is this a platformer if there aren't any death pits to jump over? Well, there you go. There's your death pit.
There's one. Oh, there's plenty. There's a lot of stuff in this game that'll kill you instantly. Eventually you get to a castle. I want to get to that point at least. Because it's at the castle where the game turns into a teleporter maze.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it does it like right away, too. Can I go down there? Want to find out?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that!
Hey!
We found the hidden mushroom house. Oh, and a full life restore. Good.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I needed that.
Alright, you got 1 minute left.
So I guess you could say this is pretty interesting in terms of structure. There's hidden stages to find, stuff to encounter. This was around the time when people really wanted secrets in their games. It's called the Tower of Jiraga effect.
Wait, really? Was that actually a thing? Did that become a trend?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was just developers not really knowing what fun was. They had to do something. Sure wish we knew what fun was.
Yes, back before the days of fun studies and the field of fununomics or whatever.
Funyuns. Can I go in here? Hey, I made it.
You're in the castle now.
And this is where they add a whole bunch of doors that are locked with keys, and you go through them, and you're in a different area, and it's really frustrating. I cannot swim! Game over!
Oh, that's such a cute game over screen. Alright, that's 5 minutes.
And so we come to the third and final April release in 1989 for Taxan, which was also their last release of the year. Alex, why don't you go ahead and start the timer right now? I don't think we need to spend much time with this game.
Okay.
So this is a game commonly known as Mouse Cop. It was an expanded version of the arcade classic Mouse Cop by Tosei, so you know it's good. They reimagined it, added a whole bunch of new levels. Mouse Cop now has a wife and a kid for some reason.
Oh, wow.
And they released that in like 86, and a couple years later they brought it over courtesy of Taxan, because no one else wanted to touch it. This is Mappyland. Or PYL. Oh.
Great.
This is Mouse Cop Land. There we go.
There you go.
This isn't right. This isn't working.
This is not working, baby.
Y'all may know that we have a history with this game, and yeah, this is pretty much what I expected. I can't say that this is unexpected. I can't say this is unexpected.
What's with the thing in the corner?
I don't know.
Ah!
How about I just let the computer play? I don't want to play this anyway. So yeah, Mouse Cop, he's bad news. Anytime you mess with him, you're gonna get screwed one way or the other. Even the computer can't play this. Look at this. It froze? Hang on. Alright, why is it still doing this? This is stupid. God damn it, Mouse Cop. Yep, my favorite Taxan game, PYL.
I love PYL.
Okay, there we go. See, this is how you play the game.
Just like that.
Yeah, you just jump in the river. Oh
no!
You stay away from that church, Mouse Cop. Don't you... Look at that, he's already defiled it.
Oh god! The church disappears!
Alex, what do you say we move on?
Alright.
I knew this was a bad idea. Mouse Cop, it happened. No one had to bring it over here, but Taxan did, and now look what happened. Thanks a lot, Taxan.
I like that we're in hell now. I'm pretty happy about that.
Welcome to hell, everybody. And who gave Mouse Cop a gun? Whose idea was that?
Ah! Should we move on?
I don't know. I want to see what this does. The computer's really confused. Oh. Almost. Oh, God.
I like that.
Okay, this is the part where it introduces all the different characters, but you can't see what they are. It's been censored by the CIA.
It is totally redacted information.
Let's move on to 1990 and hope that these games work after this. With 1990, they started out in January with a game called Eight Eyes. Okay, this one works. Good.
Okay.
So this is made by the dream team of Seta and Thinking Rabbit. Seta being a weird company, makers of, God, what are they known for?
Seta?
Yeah.
Like,
Q-Billion, I guess? Whatever.
Sorry.
Meanwhile, Thinking Rabbit is the Sokoban people. They're the people who created Sokoban and pretty much invented block-based pushing puzzlers. So with them, they teamed up and they made a Castlevania clone where you control a dude and his owl friend. This is also one of those games where I'm not really familiar with the structure, so I'm just going to start off in the default level here.
okay. Ooh, pretty.
You
Like
video,
a bird friend.
you video game heads out there may recognize this as a Castlevania clone, and boy is it ever. Just imagine if Simon Belmont had a bird perched on his shoulder, and that's what this game is. You collect crosses, I guess? Okay, I'm gonna need someone to fill in for me on the history part of this game.
Well, chat was having an entirely different discussion about different kinds of, about ROM corruption for some reason, but, let's see, chat says about this game, what if burb? So,
What if burb? What if Simon Belmont had a burb?
can the second, player control the bird?
Yes,
Sorry, burb.
I do not have a second controller plugged in, but yeah, supposedly you can take control of Kutris the owl, the second player can. So that's kind of neat. Like, imagine if in Castlevania a second player could control, like, Simon Belmont's dog or something.
Thank you, Codeman, for discussing what Sega is known for releasing, or in this case, not releasing. They are the Bioforce Ape people.
Oh, right, yeah, the Bioforce Ape dudes. They are more famous for that than anything they released.
Abby mentions, part of what's dumb about this game is that the bosses will take ages upon ages to the point of not being worth doing it all in anything but the right level.
I've heard that. Yeah, the one thing I know about this game is that it's like Mega Man. You have to take on the levels in a certain order, and if you don't fight the bosses in the right order, they take forever to kill. That's probably why I never played much of this. I do remember getting to a boss once and then not being able to kill it. You just kind of have to know the level order in advance. Also, it's hard.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know about this game is that it's extremely hard. Sega also made, according to chat, the Tom Sawyer game for the NES, not the Square one, but the other one.
Oh god, Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
And they also made Twin Eagles Revenge Joe's Brother, which beautiful.
Great name, at least.
Oh, and Super Real Mahjong.
Oh, okay. Well, they made their money, at least. So I picked up a gun. I didn't know there was a gun in this game.
I guess the protagonist is a little Freakazoid-ish-esque, Ides of March.
Okay, if you hold up and B, your bird gets sent out, and then you can, like, command him by pushing up and A, I guess. Let's see if we can get it to attack something.
Attack that skull.
Go, bird. Oh, the bird's getting hurt real bad.
Oh, the bird can't do shit against that skull.
Should have given the bird a knife or something.
Can you equip weapons to the bird?
Oh, good question. Okay, bird, you got a gun. Now use it. Go, bird. Yeah, honestly, this game doesn't play very well. It looks okay. It looks like it would be a good Castlevania clone. But it just doesn't play that well.
Yeah, it doesn't look that fun. But it looks really fucking cool, I gotta say.
Yeah. I can see why they localized this. This looks good in the screenshots. A kid could see this in Nintendo Power and be like, wow, I want Simon Belmont with a bird. Most kids didn't, though. Can you blame them?
Most kids weren't like, yes, I too wish to have my own falcon while playing as Simon Belmont.
Amateur falconists. Is that what they call them?
Oh, there's a term for it.
I know it's called falconry, the art of controlling a falcon.
Zillion Tab asks if this is based off of any license, like an anime or something. I don't think it is, actually.
I don't think so either. I think this is an original creation by Seta and Thinking Rabbit.
Alright, 10 seconds, Danny.
Okay, in conclusion, if you want Castlevania, you should just play Castlevania.
Yeah.
Even if you can give the bird a Molotov cocktail.
Wow, so you can equip the bird!
God, dude. Okay,
Whoa!
Change my mind. This game's badass.
Okay, yeah,
Let's move on.
same. Good game.
Next up in March of 1990 was a game called Burai Fighter. It's got a neat intro, at least. This is by Kid, or KID, or Kindle Imagine Develop, a company whose games we've covered before on Mascot Friday. They did Kickmaster, they did Banana Prince, and maybe a couple others we played. They did Trolls in Crazyland, but don't hold that against them.
Okay. I did like the title screen.
It's neat. Yeah, Kid, they put some work into their games, and this game is okay. It's a shoot 'em up where instead of a ship, you are a dude.
People like this game.
Yeah, this game has a pretty good reputation. It's pretty playable. If you hold the B button, you can just lock your fire in one direction. Otherwise, you can aim in any of 8 directions. Which is pretty neat for a shooter, even though you can die in one hit.
Zillion also mentions that these folks also did Rekka.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Which may be a better game than the ones you mentioned.
Maybe a little bit. I guess now is a good time to mention that Taxan made 9 games for NES here in the States and 2 for Game Boy. One of them was called Burai Fighter Deluxe, which was, despite the name, basically just a port of this game to Game Boy. Their second and final game for Game Boy was a game called Serpent, which was developed by Naxat Soft. It was the only Taxan game to be developed by Naxat, and that was just Nokia Snake.
Beautiful.
Hey, you gotta have Snake. Wait, back then it wouldn't have been Nokia Snake, it would have just been Snake.
Yeah, remember when it wasn't Nokia Snake?
Yeah, weird.
When there was just, like, Snake existed, it was, like, something you would play on your, like, your basic compiler or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Alex compiling code.
I just would make choose your own adventures in QBasic, and it wasn't ever any good. No variables, no nothing.
Wow.
Pure garbage.
Pure gameplay. So that was kind of neat. That boss there, you had to shoot him in the back, because that's where his eye was. And you can do that, because you can shoot anywhere.
Okay, that's actually interesting. Electric Boogaloo says, one of the designers, producers of Burai Fighter is Ken Lobb, who you may know from, of course, the Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
That's
And inventor of the Klob gun in GoldenEye. That's mostly true. Look it up.
I will. I'm getting on my gamer encyclopedia right now.
Good. Oh, I just noticed you can power up across 3 different weapons. That's pretty neat. This game's got some complexity to it.
Let's see. Clob, it's clobbering time. A lot of people like Ken Lobb's name.
Klob, maybe the worst weapon in GoldenEye? Discuss. It seems like you need to shoot dudes 1,000,000 times with the Klob to kill him. Maybe that's just me.
I love his little legs.
Yeah, he's just got his legs hanging out the whole time. I guess you could consider this a spiritual predecessor to Scat, which was another game released for the NES later. It was a similar game where it's a side-scrolling shooter where you control a dude. A la Forgotten Worlds, I guess.
Alright, Scarlet Swordfish's first kill in GoldenEye was with the Klob, so you know.
Oh, okay, good. The Klob works, I just suck. I'm more an RCP-90 kind of guy.
Yeah, me. I'm more of a I don't play GoldenEye man.
You're all slappers only.
Hold on!
That's a mode in GoldenEye where you just karate chop people.
Really?
Yeah, it's called slappers only.
Oh wow.
Back me up here, chat. That's a real thing. I'm not just bullshitting Alex.
It sounds like a... I'm sorry, Slappers Only sounds like a Slappy and the Stinker sequel.
Slappy the Squirrel and Slappers Only.
Alright, it is real, so that's
Told
beautiful.
Yeah, you're all about that Slappers Only.
I kind of want to play Slappers Only with you. Also, you've got 30 seconds left.
Okay, Burai Fighter. Probably the best Taxan game we've seen so far. And again, with competition like a DOG game and Mouse Cop, that's not saying much. Yeah, if we didn't mention it, DOG games, even though they were published by Square Enix, they were not great. And by a boutique label, of course I meant to say budget label. Same thing.
I mean, yeah.
Alright, that's level 1 of Burai Fighter. Go play this game, it's pretty neat.
I love this! I love this big number! Big number!
Oh, they do the big numbers?
Number big!
Did they do a cash register style score adding up? Because that's the most satisfying score.
It was more rolling, but yeah.
Okay. Well, stage 2 takes place in R-Type, so that's our cue to get out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Burai Fighter, not bad. And their third and final release for 1990. You're noticing a pattern here, like they only release 3 games a year. Mm-hmm. They're just like, we're going to hit this market, but we're not going to put too much effort into it. Their third and final release came in September, and that was a game called Low G Man. the low-gravity man.
Oh, I like that they had to clarify.
Now, this game was also by Kid, so you should expect some kind of presentation quality here. We had beautiful sunsets, but then they came.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Say hello to the most 90s man possible.
This looks so good!
The low-gravity man.
Oh, I'm into this.
This is a pretty cool game. I bet a few people in chat played this. What'd y'all think?
Let's see. Video Game King says, I remember playing this and bouncing off of it. For as good as it looked, it was pretty loosely designed.
Yeah, the controls in particular are kind of loose in this game, and the frame rate's not that great. But basically, you're a dude who can jump way high in the air, and you have a gun that stuns enemies. You can't actually kill enemies with your gun. What you gotta do is stun them, and then you just poke them with your giant spear. They should have really called him Spearman.
Honestly, yes. Let's see.
Oh yeah, and some weapons and enemies you can actually commandeer. Let's see if I can do that. There we go, check it out.
Let's see. Snubble says, I never got the love for this, but I guess sometimes you want to jump big. And you know, I get that.
Yeah, it's a basic appeal, being able to jump to the top of the screen. I mean, hell, they published Fist of the North Star.
Let's see, Chad mentions he's not to be confused with OG Man or the delicious OJ Man.
OJ Man.
This is pretty cool, I gotta say.
Oh, it blew up.
I do like the color scheme in this game.
It's pretty neat, yeah. It has a... Even though the characters are really small, it has kind of a detailed, striking style to it. I guess it's kind of like Kickmaster in that regard. I don't know, maybe I'm a fan of Kid. I like that KID.
You like the I like that it's like... That they like invented the Kindle or whatever in their name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Amazon ripped them off. Imagine
Bezos!
Yet another thing that the evil Jeff Bezos has stolen from us.
The beautiful works of Kid. Yeah, Kid games do have a really interesting aesthetic that I've noticed. I like these.
Yeah, they stick to that style too. They're pretty consistent. And this actually isn't going to be the last Kid game we see. I'm just talking about them like they're a kid.
No, listen. I know Kindle was a quote-unquote actual word, but let's be honest. Once Bezos got a hold of it, then you know, it had no chance.
Yeah.
It had no chance. I will never... If I'm talking about kindling a fire, I am literally talking about throwing a book reader into a big pile of flames, which you probably shouldn't do. Probably bad for your lungs.
Not good for the environment either.
Yeah, it's not very environmentally friendly.
Try kindling your imagination instead.
Ooh. So, like, imagining things while looking at my Kindle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just gonna poke this guy until he's dead.
I'm looking at it right now, and I'm imagining you poking him, man. Oh my god, you were! Keep poking him.
Man, I suck at this game. I have very little experience with Flow G-Man, I'm sorry to say. Sorry to let the fans down.
Ken Lobb also worked on this game as well. Thanks there.
Man, Ken Lobb, Taxan Superstar. Maybe they just got him on board and they thought, well, we got Ken. We don't need to put any more thought into these games. Come to think of it, did this get a Japanese release? It might not have.
That is what I'm saying, Video Game King. Jeff Bezos pounced, and he sank his fangs into something, and just wriggled his mouth.
Like a dog.
Like
a dog or
a
crocodile.
You know what? Yeah, like a crocodile. Well, crocodile's more snap.
Mm.
Also, this did not come out in Japan, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't think it did. Weird. Alright, well, we got a US exclusive here from Taxan, of all people. Kind of weird, because up until this point, they'd pretty much just been localizing other people's work.
Did you know that Jeff Bezos has a locking jaw?
He
so,
does?
like, when he grasps onto you, you can't unlock. It's really dangerous, yeah.
Damn. Don't fight Jeff Bezos. He doesn't fight fair.
When you see Jeff Bezos, either make yourself appear larger or
play
dead.
dead.
Yeah, play dead. Just
let him have your picnic basket. It's not worth it.
Yeah, lay prone on the ground, curl
now
up.
Now this is a kid color scheme right here.
I was gonna say, this level supports trans rights. I love this.
Way back in 1990.
I've noticed they use that scheme a lot in kid games, and I love it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the first level you don't get to really use your jumping abilities, but later levels, including this one, you can just jump all over. And that's the fun of the game, just jumping all over the place, taking over enemy weapons. That's Low G-Man. Available for your Nintendo Entertainment System.
That's 5 minutes.
Alright, good. Alright, so that's 1990, and we are now 2/3 of the way through their entire library. What do we think of Taxan so far?
Well, these seem like games to play. I feel
Good
bad.
analysis, Alex.
they all okay, I will say this. A lot of them, aside from Mystery Quest, a lot of the graphics here are much more, I don't want to say realistic, but they have a more that Konami Batman era stylization where it's that kind of it's not realistic, but it's realistic.
Yeah, they have a kind of shading to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of just the way it presents depth, I guess you could say. That's more of a kid thing than a Taxan thing, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But we're going to continue that because their next game, and next to last game, believe it or not, was in January 1991, and I know people played this game. This is G.I. Joe.
Alright, let's see. Family Consumer says they're a decent B- publisher. They're no Capcom Konami, but they're better than Acclaim or Milton Bradley.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah, that's how I'm seeing it.
And this game is Taxan's final game developed by Kid. So this is very much in the vein of Low G-Man.
Oh, this has that kid look.
Only with G.I. Joe, you got your Blizzard. You got your Snake Eyes.
Good, I know Snake Eyes.
Alright, you can always use a ninja on your team. Who else we got here? We got Captain Gridiron, who is just a guy wearing a football uniform.
You know, according to legend, according to his background, he went to the War Academy, so that's good.
Whoa, the War Academy.
Yeah, where you learn how to war.
Alright, so you got half a dozen Joes you can take into battle. Time has come to rid the world of the Cobra organization.
Who is that guy?
That's
Is
Thanos.
It's what?
Thanos. I don't know who that
Sorry,
guy is.
it's like, is that supposed to be Duke? Who? Okay, no, Duke that's some guy who's above Duke, which is wild to me. Maybe that's the president.
Alright, we are definitely going to go with Captain Gridiron and Snake Eyes, the ultimate team-up. Football guy and ninja.
Honestly, I'm into it.
His character graphics aren't so bad.
Someone put that on Archive of our own.
Oh, it's got cutscenes. Now, this game was pretty high profile from what I know. A lot of people know this game and are fans of it.
Oh, I love these trees!
Look at those trees! Yeah, that's a nice touch there, actually. So, despite this not being Low G-Man, you can still jump way the hell up in the air, because this is a kid game. And you control 3 different characters, you get a whole bunch of different power-ups you can use. Let's use our gun. Because that's what makes a Joe, his gun.
Now, notice that he still has that laser gun, because this is still based on the TV show, where both sides had lasers because guns were too violent, but lasers, it's fine.
They have guns in the comic or something?
I think they actually do have lasers in the comic, but they had guns for the toys until...
Look at the way these dudes jump into the foreground. That's neat.
That is cool. Yeah, I think he had a gun until either the 70s or 80s. I'm not sure. There's probably some big-time Joe head out there that knows.
Sorry, I've never seen anything G.I. Joe. I am completely oblivious to all Joe activity.
I have the original animated series on DVD.
Oh, cool. I should watch it.
It's alright. I mean, it's G.I. Joe, a real American hero, but it's interesting, and there's some really weird episodes that were kind of surrealistic that were nice.
This is an auto-scrolling boss where you're being chased by an airplane. That's kind of awesome.
Yes, this is definitely based on the Deke version of the cartoon, not the Sunbow version. Sunbow version is actually pretty good. It's by the Transformers team, I think, or some of the Transformers Marvel team.
Oh, another plane! You know, I'd never played this game before, and this is kind of great. I like this. This is real good. I gotta be a different dude, though. Let's have the football player fight the plane with his bare hands. He did it! He punched out that plane!
Did you? Okay, that rules.
He just punched the hell out of that plane.
Also, the comic is alright, and what I do like about the comic is it expands into the idea that Cobra runs an entire, like, track housing kind of planned community town. Like, one of those, like, really, and it's like, it totally is trying to do, like, real estate scams and stuff to people to let them join their weird, like, planned community, like, gated community place.
They would do that.
It's actually pretty funny.
Oh, damn. Do I have to... Okay, I can punch these. Alright, so these levels are actually multi-scrolling, it looks like. It's not just left to right. You can... There's some up and down in there, too.
Less like a company town and more like, oh... I don't know if you've ever heard of planned cities, planned communities. Like it's like Celebration, Florida, is what it's like. Which is wild. Yes, they did do MLM scams too, I think.
G.I. Joe did?
No, Cobra.
Okay.
The Joes are too kind-hearted to ever do MLM scams.
Check. Oh, we're planting bombs, I see.
Yes, Sergeant Slaughter is in the G.I. Joe cartoon, but I think he's in the Deke seasons, not in the original Sunbow seasons. You've got 15 seconds left.
Well, this is a cool game, and Taxan was lined up to release a sequel called The Atlantis Factor, but for some reason they closed up shop shortly after, and that's why Capcom published the sequel, and I assume reaped the profits from it. I don't know why they didn't end up just releasing the sequel. Like, they paid for the license, they had Kid develop it, they were just like, we gotta get out of the business. That's G.I. Joe, which was what many people would consider Taxan's best game. I'd say it's pretty good. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
But we've already reached the end for Taxan. At this point, the writing was on the wall. They said, okay, this whole video game thing, this ain't going nowhere. We're shutting things down, shifting things over to Naxat Soft here in Japan. And their final release came in February with maybe their weirdest game yet, Magician.
Alright, I like Magician. Oh my god!
Now, there is a prototype version of this game where the main character's neck is even more fucked up. They tried to fix it before release.
This is so European!
It's so European that the maker is named Eurocom.
Danny, this is so European.
So the nice thing about this game is I don't have to play it. They have a nice little demo that shows you everything you can do in this game. So I'll just let that play while I eulogize Taxan. Yep, by this point Taxan was just like, video games ain't working. We're just gonna focus on Naxat Soft in Japan. Pack it up, boys. Taxan is no more. So they handed off publishing rights to G.I. Joe 2, which Capcom published as G.I. Joe The Atlantis Factor. Still made by kids, still part of the same series, just Capcom instead of Taxan. Now you might think that their holding company or whatever was in trouble, but no. Kaga Electronics is still alive and still doing very well. In fact, they recently acquired Fujitsu.
What?
Who I understand is pretty big, so
yeah,
I think
wow!
I think they're doing quite well for themselves. They also expanded throughout Europe, where they sold mostly like hardware, monitors, things like that. But that's really the whole story here. This was just one of their little ventures that they decided to go out and try and make some money off of, and I guess it just didn't meet expectations. So they took it back to Japan and became extremely successful.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But look at this game.
Yeah.
This looks incredibly ambitious, and also the kind of game that I would be terrible at, so I'm afraid to play it.
I do like this dopey little dragon.
This is a dopey little dragon.
Hey, don't fight me! I don't got no legs! Come on, man! Just trying to live my... Aw, now I'm dead! You happy with yourself? Also, I like that he was just, like, exploding rocks. And as Chad's mentioned, the author behind the music here, the musician, the music is by Neil Baldwin.
Ah, that guy. He did some good music. His soundtrack for Hero Quest is real good on the NES. Boy, do I have to play this at all? Like, it's demonstrating every part of the game here. Look at this.
Also, Electric Boogaloo mentions that Kaga did close Naxat in 2015, but by that time they were called Kaga Create, so...
Yeah, shortly afterwards they renamed Naxat Soft to Kaga Create, and they lasted for a good long time. And as Boogaloo says, it was only recently that they closed down. You can even fly!
I do like the art in this game. This looks really cool.
This looks like the kind of thing that would be a pain in the ass to put on NES. Look at this!
Oh, God.
Now, you'd think this would be a port of a PC adventure game, but apparently not. This was made just for NES. Complexity and all. He just gave up on that puzzle. Save games at any time using the battery-backed RAM. Is this demo meant for CES or something?
I was gonna say, this demo goes on. This feels like it's at a, it feels like I'm at like a Toys R Us and I'm watching a whole demo or something. You got hit in the face. That was amazing.
Wow.
No, bring that back.
God, I love that title screen.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to play the game for like a minute, but suffice to say this game is incredibly complex for the NES. Mm-hmm. It juggles item management with platforming, with character building, stats, really the whole 9 yards.
That looks like... That dude's face looks like it's some programmer's face.
It does.
They digitized some dude. I love it.
I can make a fart noise. I can do it rapid fire. Check it out.
Danny, stop farting.
Okay. Well, this is the end of Taxan, a very short and very strange venture here in video games. They got in kind of late, and they left early. That's Taxan. I guess some of y'all out there might have played stuff like Burai Fighter or G.I. Joe, so you might have some fond memories of them. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, though, it was just very much a limited business venture, and when it didn't pan out, they got the hell out of there. I guess there's something to be said for that, instead of just companies releasing dozens and dozens of shit games.
God, yeah.
Like LJN. Someday we're going to do an LJN Spotlight.
Do we have to?
I think we have to. I think it's our destiny.
Annie, please. Alright, you got 10 seconds to beat the game.
Okay, I'm taking a quest here at the old guild. I accept the LJN Spotlight quest, so we're going to do that at some point in the future. As for Taxan, not bad. Not a bad run at all. Let's have a look at those games. Let's see whether they were good or bad. Okay, we got Star Soldier, I would say was good. Mm-hmm. Fist of the North Star, bad.
Yeah.
Mystery Quest, bad.
Yes.
Mouse Cop Land, awful. Eight Eyes, interesting. I would say trending towards bad. Burai Fighter, good. Mm-hmm. Low G-Man, I'd say that's also good. G.I. Joe, great.
G.I. Joe looked really good.
And Magician, at least it's interesting. It's got its fans, so I'm willing to say good. So that's what, 4 bad, 5 good? That's like a 50% hit rate.
That's not bad.
There has been worse. It's no acclaim. It's no LJN.
Yes, Ragu mentioned that Taxan advertised in comics and game mags a lot. Not only did they do that, but they actually had their own newsletter called Taxan Vic.
That's it, yeah. You could get that by filling in the business reply cards in video games and computer entertainment and other magazines. Only nerds do that, which is why I had several issues as a kid.
Good.
I am familiar with Taxan's magazine. It's kind of surprising considering they were only around for like 2 years, but whatever.
Yeah, they were really going for it.
So there you go, the story of Taxan. Not the worst NES publisher. Definitely not the best, but they had a few hits. Consider playing some Taxan games today.
Find some Taxan games at your local library.
This is brought to you by the Taxan Lobby of Texas.
The Taxan Texans.
The Taxan Texans. Alright, folks. Well, we're going to move on to another company with a very similar release trajectory. You'll see. That's after the break. In the meantime, Alex has an intermission for us. What you got?
Well, I've got... we've done so much NES stuff, I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but hopefully you'll like what I got for you. We've got an ad. They actually did make a commercial for Top Secret Golgo 13, so I've got that, and it was an American ad, too. And then I usually show tip... hint and tip tapes during our NES intermissions, but this time I decided I want to show off a really, really unusual one that takes a different path than the kind of more serious and well-produced ones that Game Players and Game Pro and stuff are doing.
We're not even getting the kind of quality you see in Game Players game tapes.
Oh, no. This is, you may have heard of it. It has Robert Zadar, and it is the Galactic Video Adventure game magazine.
Robert Zadar, if you're unfamiliar, he was in a few MST3K movies. He is known for being a man that has a large face. You'll see. This video game show doesn't seem like something that existed, or should have existed, and yet video evidence exists, and you're about to see it. So enjoy the next 10 minutes. We'll come back with Vic Tokai.
See you then.
And we're back, and yes, that was Robert Zadar, the maniac cop himself. Rest in peace. He ended up passing away a few years ago after a long and storied movie career, including stuff that no one had ever heard of or knew he was in, including whatever that was. Alex, explain yourself.
That was that was not my home video. That was a real thing.
That's what I said in chat. I was like, this isn't real. Alex just filmed this between the shows we do.
No, it's real. I promise you. Unfortunately, it's very, very real. But there was one thing that we showed off that was not real. Folks, it's time to come clean. The thing that you obviously suspected was true. We did corrupt that Mappy Land ROM.
That is true. Yeah. It's time to come clean.
We're confessing.
Before the government investigators come out after us. Yeah. Turns out that Vinesauce NES ROM corruptor works amazingly. I'm gonna work on so many ROMs using that thing. You saw what it did to Mappy Land, and I was just using it for like 5 minutes. That's results right there. So expect all of our NES games in the future to go through the Vinesauce ROM corruptor.
Yeah, we didn't want Mouse Cop to investigate us, and
we wanted to get him off our trail, and I think it worked fine, considering how much that game was redacted.
It was super redacted.
All right, so you've seen Taxan. Now, see the flip side of the coin with another company called Vic Tokai. Folks, you heard of this Vic Tokai, a.k.a. Victor Tokai? He runs hits for the mob.
I love Victor. I do love Victor.
Okay, I have some facts about old Victor Tokai here. Vic Tokai was founded in 1977. The Vic stands for Valuable Information and Communication.
I love that name.
That is a good abbreviation. The Tokai part is actually from Tokai Corporation, which is a natural gas utility who owns the company. So they're part of a natural gas company that decided to expand into electronics and video games in the early 80s and 90s.
Ooh.
Now, the one thing you're going to notice about this company real quick is that they abandoned the NES as soon as possible. Like, they got in, like, they wanted to capitalize on that gold rush here in America. Everyone's buying NESs. Everyone wants video games. But come 1991, they just decided, nope, we are moving to 16-bit and never touching NES ever again. And that makes them kind of unique, because the other companies we've covered, Bandai, American Sammy, they hung on for a while, right? They were making games in 93, 94, capitalizing on that install base. Vic Tokai was just out of there. They just left without saying goodbye. It was just instant.
They were like, see ya, suckers.
But for the short time they were active, they managed to make an impact, I think. And not least of which was because of their very first game, which you just saw an advertisement for during our intermission. This game came out in September of 1988. It is called Golgo 13, Top Secret Episode.
Okay, I like this.
Now that's how you do a logo. Just blast a big old bullet hole in the title. So you like my new helicopter?
It's really cool, Danny.
Thanks, I spent a lot of money on it.
Is that what you spent all the sup money on?
Yeah, I figured y'all would want us to have a helicopter. So I flew it right in front of the Statue of Liberty, and that didn't work out too well.
Hey, you shouldn't have done... Oh, shit.
It wasn't him. It was someone else. He was out of town when that shit happened. So this is a very stylish and cool looking game. This has a very complex story. In fact, this is based on a manga and anime that was just starting to be translated for release here in the States at the time.
Okay, this one in particular is based on a certain Golgo 13 movie, apparently. Oh no, someone stole a vaccine. Danny, get the vaccine back.
So this is a hell of a game. If you've never played this, we are not going to even scratch the surface on this, but just to sum it up, this game covers multiple playstyles, multiple mechanics. It's got side-scrolling, it's got first-person shooting, it's got sniping. It has first-person maze sequences, because this is a Japanese game from the 80s. It's got a little bit of everything, and it actually has a pretty decent story with comprehensible dialogue, which was kind of a hell of a thing back then.
Thank you to Sasquatchulus for resubbings. They've been sub 16 months in a row. Thank you. They say, Room 909. No one can make that shot. No one is that good.
Except for the man with the custom M16. Thank you. So Duke Togo, Golgo 13, he is a man of few words. He prefers to talk with his fists and his feet. You start off with this little jump kick, which is pretty weird.
He's pretty tall.
But every time you shoot an enemy, you get bullets. And then you can shoot them back with the bullets.
So you can absorb their bullets?
Oh, except for this guy. Watch yourself, don't put your crotch in my head.
Yeah, it seems rude.
So Golgo, or Duke Togo, is a secret agent assassin, I think, pretty much. Actually, I guess he's just an assassin. People hired him to do these high-profile hits. Oh, look out, it's time for some first-person shooting. Like, what the hell? What other NES games did this back then? I'm talking especially 88.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually only heard about this game. I've never seen it really in action.
It's pretty cool. It tries to bite off a little bit more than it can chew. It doesn't really execute as well as you might hope, but it's cool that they tried. You get to go in these areas, talk to people if they're there. Oh, here's a dude. Must have a stick up his butt.
I'm Dirk Bullet, stick up my butt.
Dirk Bullet. ... Seems a fixer agent commandeered a helicopter. You wouldn't know about anything about that, would you? ...
No, I don't know anything. I'm just some dumb idiot.
So I'm pretty sure we won't get to it, but this game is infamous for a few other reasons. There's a scene early on in the game where you meet your female agent counterpart in a hotel room, and she's like, "Oh, Duke, we should do it," and then you totally have sex.
Wow.
It's implied.
Hey, it's the Alex Hotel!
Welcome to the Alex Hotel.
Nice!
Here's the Alex concierge.
Oh, I'm making bank on this hotel.
You just said that.
Alright, you got a minute.
Oh shit, you ain't gonna see anything in this game. Now, one thing you may not know is the Japanese version goes even further than showing them having an encounter in a hotel room. The lady actually takes her clothes off.
Oh, wow.
There's legit nudity in the Japanese version of this. Also, I am so terrible at this game. I'm sorry I can't show off more of it to you.
Okay.
But it is a very lengthy, very difficult game. If anything, this game has a weak spot, and that is the first-person mazes. Those are terrible. I wish they weren't in here. But, in conclusion, I guess you could say this is a game that tried a lot of things. Not all of them succeeded. But for 88, it was really ambitious and impressive. And I guess that's kind of why it got a foothold here in America. A lot of people remember and talk about this game. That's Golgo 13. The man with the machine gun.
Cool. A cool game with a cool lad and cool feet, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And it has Alex Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But let's move on to something even more impressive and even more higher selling. Because their second game that they released in 1988... In December of 88, they followed up on Golgo 13 with Bump and Jump.
You fucking kidding me? I love that game.
Which up until literally like 5 minutes ago, I thought didn't sell anything, but according to that Robert Zadar special, it was the second best-selling game in 1 month that, whatever month Mr. Zadar was keeping track of video game sales.
It was February.
It was February. Now you might be saying, this is a Data East game, and you're right, Data East totally published this for the Famicom in 86. But, as is common for companies wanting to get a foothold in the States, they released some arcade ports, you know, just to test the waters. And I guess this one did pretty darn well. You played this?
Yes! This is one of my favorite games. I really like Bump and Jump, and I cannot tell you why.
So what do you do in this game?
Well, you know, it's I don't know how to tell you this, but you bump, and then you jump.
Okay.
Like so. There you go. You gotta bump all the other enemies to the side. You can destroy them, but you're mostly supposed to, like, get to the end and pick up as much oil cans as you can, because you will run out of gas, if you can see the P in the corner.
Oh, I see.
Slowly ticking down, yeah. Those cars over there, they'll either drop, those trucks will either drop trash. Sometimes cars will drop power-ups out of their butt like that.
They drop trash.
Yeah, I think that's a trash truck just dropping trash in your path.
You gotta stop these guys.
Those you can't destroy. The trash trucks, yeah.
Oh, man. Into the trash.
I mean, maybe they're not trash. I just kind of assume.
So yeah, this is a port of a Data East arcade game. Famicom version came in '86, and I think it was a pretty different port from the arcade game. Because I played the arcade original, and this doesn't look much like it. I mean, it controls the same and all, but none of this looks familiar.
It has like a cutesier graphic style in this one, I think.
Yeah, I guess they kind of remade it in the process of porting it. Great, you crashed 7 cars.
Yeah, I love that part.
Music's okay. Of course, it's not a Vic Tokai game. They're just capitalizing on Data East's success here, but I guess it did pretty good numbers for them, judging by that one show we showed during the intermission.
Honestly, it looked like there was a lot of interest in multiple Vic Tokai games.
Yeah, they had Golgo 13 in one of those lists as well.
Also, I have a soft spot for Vic Tokai because I'm pretty sure they released it. Didn't they release Mansion of Hidden Souls? Or
They did. They released the US version of Mansion of Hidden Souls, yeah. Sega passed on it, and they picked up their localization of it. So you might say this is kind of a canny company. They see something that's worth releasing that other companies aren't interested in, and they just go, we'll pay the tab. We'll pay the publishing fees.
As you call it, the whole, hey, are you going to eat that type of publisher?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And considering how many publishers did that, like they just pick up non-published Famicom games, I guess that they had some kind of financial success with that.
Yes, Vic Tokai actually also, they also did the Troubleshooter series, which is really great.
Yeah, that's the thing about them. They didn't have much of a presence here on NES, but once they hit 16-bit, that's where all their big games came out. On Genesis, they published stuff like Mazin Saga, and of course, Troubleshooter, a few other good games. But just like the second they had the opportunity to move to 16-bit, they took it and didn't look back. And that's what I find kind of funny about them.
Sorry, I really like the music in this part.
This game's soundtrack is not bad.
It's good, right? Like, this is a surprisingly good game.
I'm enjoying it. Okay, so not a bad start for '88. You got Golgo and you got Bump and Jump, so all you manga-reading kids and your old parents who remember arcade games like Bump and Jump, they got both of you covered. That's Vic Tokai.
Thanks, Vic.
What do you say we move on?
Sure.
Let's move on to the future year of 1989. Well, Vic Tokai ended up sitting out this year entirely. They released absolutely nothing until December, when they decided to release a game called All Pro Basketball. Let me try that again. All Pro Basketball. Owl Pro Basketball.
Owl Pro Basketball!
There he is. Vic Tokai's taking over Florida, by
Look
the
at
way.
that. Oh my god, rip Florida. Also, I guess that's an owl now.
Wow, Texas not looking so good.
Please help.
Texas is just kind of a little protrusion down there.
These stripes. It's like we got eaten by a candy cane.
So here's the thing about this game. This is an ICOM basketball game. Back then, ICOM made basketball games for everyone, including American Sammy. They made Ultimate Basketball, which we covered during that stream. That was the game that had the Unions versus the Powers.
Yes, I remember that! Yeah.
They also made Taking It to the Hoop for the TurboGrafx, and Hoops, which was published by Jalico. So this is something like the 4th basketball game by them that we're going to play here on stream.
I like that. Classy.
It's more tragic to me, like they killed a basketball player to get this.
It's like pinball graffiti!
It is! He stole his shoes, too.
Oh, no!
Well, we got the New York Slicks.
Uh-huh.
The Chicago Zephyrs. What the hell does that say?
Boston Redcoats.
Okay. The LA Bacakers. That says Bacakers.
Fine, it's the Cakers.
The Dallas Stallions.
Oh my god, that horse had a really cool hat on.
Oh, it actually says the name underneath the logo.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Breakers.
Dallas Stallions. The Phoenix Wings. Seattle Sonics. That's a little bit too close to the actual one.
Come on!
San Francisco Bay Riders.
Oh, it's got kind of the, whatchamacallit, the bisexual flag, no, the pansexual flag there. One or the other. I'm sorry if I'm
And Tom
confusing
Selleck's on this team.
Oh my god!
Along with Twitty and Trump.
And Pickle!
And
Can't
Pickle.
forget Pickle and
Vince
Manny.
McMahon.
Okay, and
Okay, we're going with the San
and
Francisco Bay
Feinstein
Riders.
too. And Conway Twitty.
Oh, LA versus New York. We're going this way.
Yeah, Diane Feinstein's short-lived Bay Riders, though. She would have been in the area. Oh my god.
Wow, this looks a lot like Hoops.
Bisexual. Okay, it was it's the bi pride flag I was thinking of. Okay.
Okay.
So how's it play?
It's... well... oh, I don't like how it does that half-court animation there. That was something some games did, where you pass the half-court mark and it, like...
whoa, that was cool!
That's neat, and also totally ripped off from Double Dribble. But,
Totally.
But whatever. Double Dribble was the template they were working off of here. Oh, come on, let me get one basket at least. This does not play great, by the way. But if you're contracting ICOM, you're not asking for a great basketball game. You're just asking for a basketball game. Computer dunking all over me.
Peter is built like a barbarian, I just want to say. I'm sorry, he looks like he belongs in an Amiga game. He's so buff.
That guy just fell down on the ground. He was like, oh, he charged me.
He's just sitting on the ground, tired. A little sleepy.
Where's the turbo button? How do you get on fire?
Well, first you get some butane.
Okay. Is this actual 5-on-5 basketball, come to think of it, or is it just 3-on-3? Let's count the players.
Okay. This has now become an educational game.
Okay, alright, roll the tape back. That dude stole the ball from like 5 feet away. No way. No way did that actually happen. Then he flashed his panties at me for...
Danny!
For extra humiliation. Alright, here we go. Oh man. let me make a bucket. I want to shoot the hoop.
Can't even buy a bucket, sweetie.
I want to take it to the hoop. Jeez.
He's barbarian.
He knocked me to the ground and then flashed me again. This is the rudest game of basketball.
It is 5-on-5. I'm counting.
Okay, well, that's something at least. I know Double Dribble was just 2-on-2, so they could say that that was a feature at the very least.
This is the Harlem Globetrotters versus the Washington Generals.
Why would you bet on the Generals? Alright, computer clearly stunting. 14-0. Let's try it. Alright, yeah, just throw the ball to no one. Yeah, just pass it to a dude in the crowd. That's cool. There doesn't need to be a dude there. Why am I getting heated?
You're having... Would you say you're having...
I'm having a heated gamer moment. Oh, here we go! Yeah! Get that shit out of here! Go
nice.
Fuck yourself!
Wow, Danny!
Oh, he still got the...
Wow.
Alright, this is my last chance. I got one more chance before our time's up. Here we go. I'm gonna take it right to the hoop. No. I missed the hoop. I'm just getting more heated by the minute here. I can't control the things that are gonna come out of my mouth.
I'm sorry. He looks like he's in like an Amiga game that's like, you know, Barbarian Last Stand or like.
Oh! Yeah!
Nice.
I did it. Anyone want to talk about why we're playing with a volleyball instead of a basketball?
Safety standards.
Okay.
All right, it's 5 minutes, babe.
Well, despite the fact that you're playing basketball with a volleyball, this is okay. There's a whole bunch of basketball games on NES. Most of them made by the same developer, including this one. So if you want to play one of those games, this exists. So that was their whole release lineup for '89. Just that game. Just all pro basketball.
What else you need?
But
you got your pros and your basketballs.
But they came back big time next month, because January 1990, that is when there was a clash at Demonhead.
Oh shit, this is a good game.
And this game is kind of amazing.
Bang!
Yeah, your name is Bang. Your name is Billy Big Bang Blitz is his full name.
Okay, I love Vic Tokai, I'm sorry.
This originally came out in Japan as Dengeki Big Bang. This is actually developed and published by Vic Tokai.
Okay.
That was the one thing I didn't mention, because other than the games they licensed for release over here, Vic Tokai developed all of the games itself. That's in comparison to American Sammy and Bandai, who mostly went with like Tosei or ICOM.
Oh no, they got the guy who did the big bomb that sucks or whatever.
Oh no, Big Bomb Dude.
Sorry, Doomsday Bomb. Not Big Bomb Dude who sucks or whatever.
Big Bomb Dude who sucks.
Alright, I love these enemies. I like how cute this is.
So here's my favorite part of the game. You talk to enemies in this game sometimes, and when it does that, you enter talking time.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they get their little portraits and everything. This guy's just a skeleton. His name is Tom Guykott, the chief of the governors.
Oh, this guy seems cool. Like, maybe he shouldn't be killing you or whatever, but he seems alright.
Yeah, we should team up. Why are we fighting?
Exactly, that is Papyrus.
It is. He's here to avenge his brother. Now, I know some folks out there played this.
Yes.
And if you played this, you're probably a fan. I know I am. I have beaten this game. This is a... how to describe this? I guess this is like a non-linear platformer adventure, where you have this overworld map, and you can determine where you go. And each place has different items and equipment you can collect in order to unlock different areas. Let's go to Route 3. Yeah, look at this giant map. This has like a couple dozen levels on it.
God, it's so big.
And that's really my big complaint with this game, because sometimes, at some point later in the game, you have to backtrack, and that's kind of a pain in the ass, because there's no teleporter. You have to actually just walk. But other than that, this plays really well. It's pretty distinctive. It's got a sense of humor to it. You play as Billy Big Bang Blitz. Have I mentioned that?
That's a good name. That is such a good name. The Billy Big Name Ballroom Blitz. The Big Mouth Billy Bang Bass Ballroom Blitz. I'm Michael. Oh, Michael.
He doesn't take orders from us. I met the grieving sprite on Route 17.
So long!
So this guy's great because you can shoot him.
No! I like that no.
This game's great. I can't encapsulate everything great about this game, but if you've played it, you would know. It is definitely worth playing, in my opinion. There's also a currency system. You gotta get all this money together so you can buy power-ups. Eventually you get stuff like lava boots that let you walk on lava. Just all sorts of fun stuff. And it's upgrade-oriented, which is kind of unusual for a game of this vintage. Hey! Something's trying to get into my head! Hey!
Oh no!
It was fun. He's fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm glad.
Do we have any fun facts to report about this game?
No. Chat loves this game. They
Yeah.
just like this game. Yeah, multiple folks played this game as kids, loved it. They like this game now.
It's great. I'd say it still holds up. It's kind of clunky in that late 90s, or rather late 80s, early 90s way, but you put up with it.
Oh, well, the one fun fact is that the music, the sound from this is by composer of Solomon's Key, Michiharu Hasuya, so...
And Rygar, too, right? This game
Yeah, I
sounds a
think
lot
so.
like Rygar.
Does sound like Rygar. Alright, you got a minute left.
Okay, Clash at Demonhead, one of the best games we're going to stream today. Seriously, check this game out.
This is really neat.
It's so good that they ripped off the name in Scott Pilgrim.
They sure did.
Then again, it's kind of hard to resist naming your band The Clash at Demonhead.
So is Demonhead a location, or...?
Yeah, you're heading towards Demonhead Mountain on the map here. That's
I see.
Yeah, that's the big location you're heading towards.
And you're gonna clash there, huh?
Mm-hmm. There will be a clash.
Oh, you've got a love letter. You got enough time to pick it up.
Okay.
15 seconds.
A letter. Bang! Captured your girlfriend, Mary. Surrender. Group 31. Pandar.
It's not really a love letter, I guess.
Mary's a prisoner? It can't be. So yeah, so much to do, so much to say. There's a lot to do in this game. That's all I gotta say
I was
about it.
gonna say, it's really good. It's really good. Definitely.
Do check it out.
Definitely check it out, yeah.
It's my pick of the week.
You're a retro gaming classic.
Alright, so how do you follow up Clash at Demonhead? Well, if you're Vic Tokai, you wait until March. You give kids a couple months to sit on this. And then you're like, you know what, kids? It's March, and I think you're ready for conflict.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty conflict avoidant myself.
I love conflict. Can't get enough of it.
Oh, good God!
Please enjoy the 60 frames per 60 frames per second flicker effect.
That's cool, though. It's all the things you conflict with.
Yeah.
Helicopter, plane, tank.
All the major modes of conflict right here. We are 1 player with 3 units. Blue level 1. The Tale of Mid-Cities, the Arch of Battle, Crossfire, Cats and Dogs. The Gap, Crossing the Barrier, The Heat of War, Screamin' Eagles.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Cats and Dogs.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a game that pits cats and dogs versus one another. A battle for the ages.
Wow, those cats all have military gear on.
These cats are serious.
Are those cats running a military, like, are they running an armament factory?
Mm-hmm. They take their shit seriously, man. Okay, move. So if you've ever played a hex-based strategy game, this is one of them. It plays like you might think. You can't occupy the same space with 2 different things.
Oh, that's like a gloved hand you have on there. What is that?
Oh yeah, it's a military glove.
I guess.
It's a fingerless glove. You gotta be able to use your fingers in
It's
war.
very cool. Dude, I gotta ask, do awkward teens still wear fingerless gloves? Has that period ended?
Did they go out with wallet chains and Jinkos?
Oh, they probably did.
Okay, I've never played this game. Has anyone else here have any experience with this game?
No, but they're saying it's based on the hit Desert Storm trading card series, so...
Of course. The hit trading card turned actual war. So yeah, it's 1 versus 1, hex-based strategy. Not as good as Military Madness or any other military games that would come after this, but it did fill a niche here in the States. Like I mentioned before, you gotta cater to both the kids and the dads. And so far, Vic Tokai seems more like a dad company, considering they released this, and Bump and Jump. That's a big dad game.
Oh man, dads love Bump and Jump.
And I bet Dad would even like Go-Go 13 if he gave it a shot.
Oh, you know Dad would love Golgo 13 when they got to the hotel. Dad would be like, oh, this game's so great!
Finally, a game for me.
Dog IRL knows someone who, in the year of our Lord 2019, still wears Jinkos. A Dog IRL, you protect and you keep them safe.
Yeah, keep them safe from modern inconveniences.
That happened with Jinkos? Yes.
I don't
don't get your Jinkos trapped in your car door.
Yeah, watch out. Don't ride a bike if you're wearing Jinkos.
Do those get caught?
I'd imagine they would. So if you really wanted a primitive Advance Wars circa 1990, this is one of the very few choices you had available. It's either this or Nobunaga's Ambition. I guess this is a little bit similar than Koei's stuff. Simpler, rather. But it's also a strategy game.
Yeah.
So we should probably move on. Conflict! Some people like it. Some people don't see what the big deal is.
It's really got people talking.
It did. So also in March of 1990, wow, they had 3 releases lined up. This is just the first of them.
Man.
Second release of March 1990 from Vic Tokai. Maybe one of their best games, Kid Kool, and the Quest for the 7 Herbs.
7 herbs and spices, I guess. Look at that little walk.
So this one's kind of weird. In Japan, this was based on... celebrity? It's hard to figure out what kind of celebrity he was, though. I think he was like a Takahashi Meijin-style figure, where he was good at games or something. So they gave him his own game, and in Japan, they called it Kakefukun no Jump Tengoku Speed Jigoku, or Kakefu's Jump Heaven Speed Hell.
I was a child actor.
Child actor, okay. Well, over here in the States, they got rid of the license, and they replaced his face with a much cooler kid. The Kid Kool himself. Look how cool he is.
He didn't do anything video game related. He was just a TV entertainer who was like, I'm the child, or whatever.
Oh, I see. So he's got to have a video game. There were several games like that way back when for the Famicom.
I'm surprised that they didn't give Macaulay Culkin his own game, just like there was just Macaulay Culkin the game, or whatever.
That would be cool. But he had a whole bunch of games anyway. He was the page master. And so, Call. This guy doesn't even get my name right.
We gotta get the 7 herbs.
So disrespectful. Yeah, we gotta save. We gotta get some herbs for the king.
Because the king is ill.
I see. And he's got those half-mast eyes. I see what's going on here.
Pretty sure we just stole this joke from Dr. Sparkle.
Yeah, we totally did. Take that, Dr. Sparkle. It's our joke now.
No,
That's cool.
I like that.
So, believe it or not, in a way, we've kind of covered this game before. This is the first of a loose trilogy of games from Vic Tokai. This has similar gameplay mechanics as Psycho Fox and also Decap Attack, 2 games that were later released for Sega consoles. They all share a lot of weird similarities, like bumping enemies into the ground when you jump on them, the weird momentum, the short-range attacks, all that good stuff. And it's super annoying in this game. This game is not a good game. Let me make that clear. Oh God.
Alright, hold on. BMF is sharing some images.
Cool Mario.
They are this. Okay, I see.
Whoa, that's totally Mario.
Oh my God, that is a.
Vic
That's
Tokai.
amazing.
Vic Tokai, what are you doing?
No way, that kicks ass. Oh wow, look at the silhouettes. That's so good. Vic Tokai kicks ass. No way. I love this. I'm sorry.
So it's pretty clear what their inspiration was. They just wanted to make Mario. That's it. They didn't really care either way. They just wanted a Mario-style game.
For those who didn't see, basically the Kid Kool sprites are really, really very close in silhouette to Mario's movement sprites. I love that. Go big, or, steal big, or don't steal at all.
Yeah, just steal from the best. If you're gonna steal, you might as well steal from Nintendo.
Hell yeah.
Just ask the guy who made that Commodore 64 Mario game.
Oh.
Vic Tokai somehow survived Nintendo's wrath, though, and they got to release this shit heap of a game. I hate this game.
I don't like this game
either. This plays really badly.
I don't like a lot of the Kid Kool Psycho Fox series, unfortunately.
Highness, it seems Kool has died.
Oh shit!
Oh my. I'm so heartbroken. The game is over, isn't it?
Oh, that's messed up.
There he is.
Oh my God!
He is dead.
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. I guess I
died.
Let me finish this segment with one final fun fact about this game.
Uh-huh.
This game, up until very recently, like within the last year, this game was speedrun proof. People tried to speedrun this, and they would just bounce off it like right away. They would just go, oh no, this is bad, I don't want to play this. It wasn't until the Kuso Grande master himself, Brosentia, finally started banging his head against this game, and managed to put together a speedrun. And now other people speedrun it, and there is an actual legitimate world record for Kid Kool, like 30 years after it was released.
Oh, well, how fast? How fast is it?
It's something like 10 or 20 minutes, I think.
That's good.
But it is a pain in the ass to play. So much so that even speedrunners, who usually like shitty games, they just did not take to this game at all. And you know how popular speedrunning was over the last decade, and just the fact that it took them up until last year to find this game. That really says a lot, I think. I hate this.
Danny, look. Bomberman, Mario, and Challenger. Oh, that's so good.
Teach the conspiracy. And look how angry he is. Come on, man. You're in your own video game. Why you gotta be so angry?
Well, maybe he wanted to be in a better video game.
Well, here's a better video game. So, what also came out in March of 1990, and kind of out of left field at this point, is Terra Cresta. This is not a Vic Tokai game. They just published it here in the States. They published this in 1990, though notice the copyright date says 85. This came out on Famicom in 85.
Ooh, that's no good.
But it is a port of a semi-popular arcade game, so I guess they felt the need to do that. This is Nihon Busan, aka Nichibutsu, makers of several nudie Mahjong arcade games. But before that, they did several shooters for arcades as well.
So do they do, like, they go from, like, normal games to, like, adult games or whatever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, once they figured out they could make money off of Mahjong, there was no going back. Kind of a shame, because they did some pretty innovative stuff. There was... did they do Phoenix or Pallades? It was one of those early Galaxian-style shooters.
Ooh.
But anyway, they followed it up with this, and I guess this was pretty good for 85. I don't really remember this game having much of a presence here in the States, though, which just makes a US release for the NES one just kind of seem out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did see Terra Cresta. I don't think I've ever seen a Terra Cresta machine in a while, though.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, the music's good.
I imagine it was at least kind of popular in Japan, though. And Vic Tokai needed to fill out their slate, and they already did Bump and Jump.
Alright, as Abby mentions, this is a sequel to Moon Cresta.
Moon Cresta, that's the one I'm thinking of, thank you.
Also, the way those dinosaurs die is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Let's see, Chad says, melt a dinosaur and crater a dinosaur. Just... Oh,
my
God,
God.
it is bone!
Just
Ugh.
collapsed into bones.
Ugh.
You know what, this ain't bad. I'd say this is better than Star Soldier. So maybe they got one up on Taxan here. Yeah, okay. I could get into this. Still, for 1990, that's kind of pushing it. You're kind of digging up the dregs of the old Famicom's release library there. But your ship is called the Winger, named after the famous metal band.
Well, you know Vic Tokai. They were always like, hey, this looks good enough to release. You know, we'll do it.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it was more like, what hasn't been released in the States yet?
True.
And isn't a Mahjong game. What's this dude? Oh my god, look at this!
Oh, wow.
Fuck what I said, this game's great. Yeah, I could see this being big in 85. Not so much 90, but it's okay. You get to turn dinosaurs into piles of bones.
That is pretty cool.
Just melt the dinosaurs with your lasers. And hell, if Hudson can release shit like Dino Ricky, what's to stop Vic Tokai from releasing this?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Vic, you do your thing. You reach back into those archives and pull out whatever you can on the bottom of the barrel. Just some slime-covered old shit. Just shake it off. Just get a wet paper towel, some Q-tips, out rubbing alcohol. You got this. It's fine.
I've really shit-talked this game, but I kind of like it.
I was gonna say, this looks fine. I can see why they released this.
Yeah. Can never have too many shooters. Well, this is one of the many vertical shoot-em-ups available for NES, courtesy of Vic Tokai. I guess it's time to finish up our look at Vic Tokai, because they're getting ready to finish up here in the States. As I mentioned, 1990, this is when the Genesis was out and the Super Nintendo was about to hit the market, so Vic Tokai said goodbye to everything that they built up on the NES. But they still had a couple games left. We're heading into their last two releases here. June of 1990, we finally get that Golgo 13 sequel with the Mafat Conspiracy. Or perhaps Mayfat Conspiracy. What do you prefer, Mafat or Mayfat?
I prefer Muffet.
Ah, the Muffet Conspiracy.
Technically, I actually prefer Muppets, but...
Did Little Miss Muffet sit on a tuffet? Okay.
Please read my newsletter to find out. Please watch my 12-part YouTube series, each episode 3 hours long.
Oh, this is for real. They're talking about Star Wars here.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, sometime in the 1990s, America launched some satellites. Wait, that was the 80s, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
One of them fell out, it looks like. Oh no, not threatening letters!
Now it's been sending threatening letters.
We're getting very angry tweets. The Kremlin's mad.
This cannot be verified.
Mm.
Oh, we're all about obscure references. So what's y'all's favorite Nichibutsu Mahjong game?
Danny!
Los Angeles is my favorite submarine. Boy, this goes on.
Hey, there used to be Steven Spielberg used to have a submarine sandwich multimedia restaurant in LA called Dive. It was like you were in the middle of a submarine, and the submarine I think every 30 minutes would dive. It would kind of shake, and the windows would change, and yeah. It lasted for like 5-6 years.
Oh, he's arming up.
Alright, chat says their favorite Nichibutsu game is Neon Pie. And I think that's the only one they've played.
Cool. I'm glad we got at least one.
Whoa!
Holy shit!
Wow! Out of nowhere!
It was just Easter Sunday. He was wearing the crown of thorns. You see that?
Wow! Let's
Jesus coming back from the dead? Not on my watch.
Thanks, Golgo. Vic Tokai was like,
Dude, he was ready, too.
Right outside the cave! He's like, Whoa, that guy's cool.
Alright, so they've got the Ninja Gaiden influence going on here. That makes sense. Now, I gotta say, this game, not nearly as well regarded as the first game. This is a much simpler game, much more straightforward. May have been by a different developer, though I didn't really check that. Well, half our time is up. I should start the game.
Yeah, we should probably get going.
I am glad I saw that first intro, though.
That was good. No, that was really good.
Oh god, here we go again.
Take that, Jesus!
Pow! Just exploded his
Right
head.
between the eyes.
Good shot. So
That
this
looks
is what Golgo 13-2 looks like, and at first, yeah, it does look like an improvement. The graphics are way more detailed. He has a nice, handsome suit on.
Very handsome.
Instead of his Canadian tuxedo that he had in the first game.
Hey, I like the denim vest look, okay?
Yeah. But it's not suited for Golgo. Here he's looking much more like Golgo.
I love the way his hands are in his pocket. Very, very nice, cool, confident.
Mm-hmm. Nonchalant.
Mm-hmm.
Notice how he always attacks with his feet, like he doesn't even use his fists. Just lets his feet do the talking.
It's just like walking downtown. I love the guy at the cafe who's like, none of my business.
Yeah, I do like the background details.
Mm-hmm.
In some ways this is an improvement, but man, in terms of gameplay, they really dialed it back. There's not nearly as much variety. It's just straightforward side-scrolling stuff. CIA. In stereo.
No, I'm James, not CIA.
What a troublesome business. Here, take my gun. Cool, give me that gun. No, I want to use the gun. Oh, I have no bullets. I don't know, are there any fans of this game out there? I've never run into one.
Oh, I've seen, who said it in chat? Let me scroll up a bit. I think,
Oh, now we got bullets. Here we go.
someone in chat said they liked and played this game as a kid, so...
It's okay. It's just, I guess if anything, it kind of stands in the shadow of the original game. Especially considering the original game was 88, and it tried so many different things.
Mm-hmm.
Here, they've dialed up the level of graphical detail, but not much else. That is a nice suit, though.
It is so nice, and I love how it even looks. Even the way he walks makes it look clean pressed, like the way it bunches behind his legs. It's kind of interesting.
And in terms of best dressed characters we've seen tonight, Duke Togo easily wins. Not even a contest.
Oh yeah. Hey. Alright, it's 5 minutes.
Ah, dang. Well, let's see what this level looks like.
Okay.
Oh, it looks exactly like the other ones. Only now we're fighting ninjas. So that's something at least. Golgo 13-2, worth a look. It's fun.
Yeah, I like this game's presentation graphically.
Yeah, just don't expect the first game in terms of ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Dial back your expectations, and maybe you'll have a good time.
Exactly, the G in low G man stands for Golgo.
Whoa. Whoa.
Think about it, won't you?
I am. And finally, their final release came in January of 1991. This is it. They decided... I think this game was actually scheduled for release in 1990, but it somehow bled over to the next year. They wanted out of that 8-bit system. They wanted to start developing stuff for 16 bits. They wanted all their stuff out the door. So that's how Crayon Conquest got released. This is another game that got heavily modified from its Japanese release. It was originally called Magical Kids Doropi. And over here it got kind of an edgy remake in terms of box art.
Oh yeah, the box art's really nice.
The original Japanese one is like all kids anime looking, while the US is all like, hey, I'm badass.
Yeah, it looks like it's like this nice like colored pencil pastel kind of look, and it looks like something you definitely see airbrushed on the side of a van. I love it.
And yeah, as the opponent says, this has no cutscenes or ending. They did translate the intro, but all the other cutscenes, they just completely cut out.
I think there's a fan translation of Magical Doropi, though.
There is, yeah. There is a full translation patch for the Japanese original. So do check that out.
Okay, interesting fact from BMF. The US version of this game is actually an earlier incomplete build of the game, even though it came out later.
Oh, wow.
That's wild.
That's not how that works. Vic Tokai, what are you doing?
They're Vic Tokai as well.
Yeah, true.
They were too busy thinking about getting Mansion of Hidden Souls out there. Okay, she is anime.
Look at this anime. Even the robots are anime.
Robots kind of remind me of Mega Man.
You don't say.
A little bit.
Well, funny you should say that. You should see what the gameplay is like.
Oh, she's tiny. Oh, come on! Is this just Mega Man?
It's just Mega Man. Imagine, if you will, if Mega Man was a witch.
I'm into it.
His name would be Francesca.
Mm-hmm. Who's she?
I don't know.
Is it like another witch?
Yeah, there's dueling witches. I am Francesca. And these are the last words I'm going to speak in the US version of this game.
That just starts it off, huh?
Yeah. Crayon Conquest.
Okay.
So this is very clearly Vic Tokai going after that Mega Man money, because look at how this game looks and plays. It is just Mega Man.
This is Mega Man.
It's Mega Man with cleavage.
Even this music is very Mega Man-y.
Oh, I like that. I like this
Aw.
move here. Especially when she pokes her stick out.
It's like, huh? Stay away.
So you can fire in 4 directions. That's kind of different from Mega Man. You can also choose these different abilities, including a ball weapon. Like, even the way the screen scrolls is just pure Mega Man.
Okay, I like that you have a bounce weapon. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. It doesn't just it doesn't directly rip off Mega Man. It tries its own things. Ah, we gotta go back to... Oh, let's use our broom, actually.
Yes.
We are a witch.
Oh, come on!
Later, fuckers. I'm just using my rush jet. I mean broom.
Your broom.
Let's get a shield. Oh yeah, you can charge up your weapons as well. There, it's a shield.
Honestly, I also wish Mega Man looked like this. This is really cool.
Yeah, I wish there was more Mega Man turned witch games. That's an okay concept, in my opinion.
Yeah, this chat says this is kind of what looks like a ROM hack.
A little bit, yeah.
But like a good ROM hack, one that you'd be like, wow, good job, everybody.
Some ROM hacker put their original witch character in a video game. Ow. Come on. No.
Doing good.
Fuck this.
Yeah, set that guy on fire.
No, fire. I said I wanted fire.
There you go.
It's a little awkward to play, but it's still pretty fun.
Let's see, they're calling it Blega Bland.
Lubega Man. Aw. She even explodes like Mega Man.
Yeah!
Yeah, this game's pretty blatant, but also pretty enjoyable, I think. It is a fun little game.
I like this. I like this a lot.
There's weird little quirks, like if you try to jump and shoot, you automatically lose your momentum.
Ah, maybe I don't like this. Oh, that's no good.
I just think it's a shame we didn't see more of Francesca.
Like,
We should have seen Francesca 2, 3, 4, 5, 6...
X,
X2, X3, X4...
Battle Card Network.
Yeah, exactly.
Soccer, I'd love Francesca
Soccer.
Yeah. Maybe some kind of board game.
Go. Yeah, she's also a phoenix.
There she goes. Alright, we're past 5 minutes, but yes, we want to keep playing.
Well, I do have one more game to show off.
Okay.
Because that was a game that kind of got lost with Vic Tokai. Alright, to close the book on Vic Tokai, this was their final game. I have a feeling it barely came out, considering it was their only game released in 1991. And at this point, Vic Tokai moved on to 16-bit, and afterwards, they didn't find nearly as much success in the 32-bit era. You'll remember them from games like Dark Rift and Criticom, some really bad fighting games. And they eventually exited console games publishing entirely in 1997. They dropped the Vic in 2011, and they still operate as Tokai Communications, only in telecommunications and networking.
Yeah.
So no more video games from old Vic Tokai.
Yeah, they mostly do cable TV stuff now.
Well, if you want a cable package that's competitive, turn to Vic Tokai, your pal and mine. There was one last game, though, that almost got released in 91 or 92, and it didn't quite make it out. That is a game called Secret Ties. Now, I took some notes on this game because I had to actually do some research because I'd completely forgotten the history of this game. This game is based on Master Thief Sugar, which was a 70s manga series by Takao Saito, who is the writer and illustrator of Golgo 13.
Oh, okay.
And you'll notice upon starting the game that the main character looks a hell of a lot like Duke Togo.
That's who I thought this was a Dick Togo game for my whole...
It's pretty much like his twin brother, pretty much. Only he's Silk, and he's a thief, and that's basically it.
That's Duke Togo. Yeah, that's
totally
just Duke
is.
Togo in a cool turtleneck.
Now, one thing I'd forgotten, which is a hell of a thing because I was involved, this game was lost until a prototype was discovered in 2003 by Lost Levels, which is Frank Cifaldi, me, and a couple other people who hunt down unreleased games. We got this from the same lot from a collector in Spain as other unreleased games like Sunman, Time Diver Eon Man, Taro's Quest, Hit the Ice, and Squashed. Those all came from the same lot. That was an amazing find.
That's amazing.
In fact, that lot was the main inspiration behind starting Lost Levels, because we figured, hey, we got all these prototypes. How are we going to get them out? How are we going to get the information out there? And around the same time, a guy contacted Frank saying, hey, I got this game called California Raisins. You want to dump that? And that's how Lost Levels was born. The first article was California Raisins. And then we released all these other games afterward. So that was a fun time. Just all this history suddenly being unearthed in Spain, of all places. I think some magazine guy was clearing out his collection or something.
It's always magazine, folks. God bless y'all magazine game writers who save your betas and stuff.
Yeah, thank you for not sending this back to Vic Tokai.
Thank you for breaking the law.
Now, our expectations as to why this game got
Incan
released...
Temple says trans rights. Okay.
No one really knows why this game was canceled. It's fully complete. It seems like a fairly solid platformer. If anything, it was kind of an oversaturated market at this point, because there were very similar, let's call them Ninja Gaiden clones, which is what this clearly is. But there's a big difference. In this
Another day, another dollar!
This game stars a smartass, and he says so much smartass stuff throughout this game. So you're Silk, you can climb up walls, as most thieves can. The music rips off Bloody Tears from Castlevania,
Yes!
but that's okay.
Yes! Yes! I love this!
Now you look at this and you think, why wasn't this released? But what we pieced together at Lost Levels is we think this game just came at the wrong time. This followed up on stuff like Batman, even Sammy released something like this with Vice Project Doom, Shatterhand, Power Blade. There was a million of them out at this point. And even Vic Tokai had their own game with Francesca's Wand, or what was it called? Crayon Conquest.
Yeah, Crayon Conquest.
So I guess they just figured they had their platformer niche set aside for that year and canned this one. Notably, there are several Ninja Gaiden clones that got canceled around the same time for similar reasons. Some of them we haven't found. Some we have. We found Jalico's Bashi Bazook. We found Taito's Time Diver Eon Man. We're still looking for Bandai's Ultimate Journey, which is like the ultimate lost Ninja Gaiden clone.
What a name!
If anyone knows where Ultimate Journey is, please let us know. It got reviewed in several magazines. There has to be prototypes out there. And yeah, between it being a saturated market and Vic Tokai wanting to get the hell out of Dodge and making stuff for 16-bit platforms, it wasn't a good time to release this.
This is so cool.
But it's a fun game.
Look at that. Look at this, Danny.
It's nice and fluid, there's good animation. Some of the bosses are really cool.
Danny, I think I'm becoming a Vic Tokai nerd.
Are you?
Oh, you chased him!
Yeah,
Oh,
I like this style of game where the sprites are small, but they're really detailed. That's like the Kid effect, I guess, even though this wasn't by Kid. Oh yeah, you also got a cool slide move. Check that out. And you have gun.
You're just gonna shoot, like... I was gonna say they're Frankensteins, but they're knights. Those are knights, obviously.
I always thought they were mummies.
Well, maybe they are mummies.
There's some stuff in this game that's a little unpolished, like the life bar just being dots. That's something they should probably change. Also, the gun icon is just the letter G.
Well, I mean...
Things like that.
G for gun, you know.
G for gun, it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not going to play through this whole thing, but yesterday I did make several save states for this game, so we're going to see a lot of Silk's more smart-ass moments.
Oh, good, good.
Because that's what really sells this game, in my opinion.
Hey, I just want to say I really like the translation here.
This guy brought karate to a gunfight.
He sure did! Wow! Bioman!
Oh wow, he actually jumped, and then he died.
Bioman kinda sucked there.
Take that, Bioman. Hey! You stay down. Now, I didn't know this, or rather notice this, until I started playing it a couple days ago, but this is not a side-scrolling platformer. If you noticed, it's all flick screen, like it's a ZX Spectrum game or something.
Yeah!
That also may be why it wasn't released, because every other game of this type was side-scrolling. I have no idea why they went with flick screen.
Good question. Was this released in Japan?
This was not released in Japan. This never got a release anywhere in the world.
Wow!
Which is extra weird because it's based on a Japanese property.
Oh, he's so happy!
Look at his face! Reiko! So glad to see you! I didn't know you were here. Oh, well, you've been better. So I'd say the biggest thing that differentiates this from all the other Ninja Gaiden clones at the time is the whole flick screen thing, and the fact that the main character is just a smartass, non-stop. There's so many quotable quotes he says, and it's actually translated pretty well.
Yeah, I noticed the localization and translation here was pretty... not as dry as a lot of the other NES stuff at the time.
Yeah. GDRI's Twitter account today retweeted something that it said about the localization guy who worked at Vic Tokai. It was actually some kind of marketing guy who was a native English speaker, which explains why all the text actually reads well.
I love this. I'm sorry. He's so sassy.
Pete, don't fail me now!
I love him! Alright, Silk. Alright, Silk, you are...
So yeah, what this game lacks in
invited.
imagination, it makes up for in sassiness. Because this guy is so sassy. And playing through it yesterday, it was pretty fun. I recommend it. It is one of the better unreleased games that we've discovered at Lost Levels.
That is a good question. Was this developed for Japan or America first? I assume Japan, because this comic, from what I can tell, never came out in America. If there was an American release of the Silk comic, please let me know. I'd love to read it. But from what I understand...
I would assume they wanted a Japanese release, but remember, Golgo 13 was a pretty big hit over here, and
That's
they probably
true.
wanted to capitalize on that with something similar. And what is more similar than a guy who looks exactly like him?
That's true. So, you know what? I guess I don't know if this was released in, if this was meant for America or Japan first.
Who can
Which
say?
came first?
And I don't think there's anyone around who can answer that question nowadays.
No.
If anyone can get in touch with Victor Tokai, please let us know. Alright, so it goes into the sewers, so
Yeah, let's move on.
I'm gonna skip ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, stage 3! Can't let that madman get his hands on this stuff.
Can't do that, Vince McMahon.
Can't get his hands on Reiko either.
world famous thief and Messiah is coming. Wow.
Oh yeah, starting in level 2, people start calling him the Messiah, and he's pretty weirded out by it. Woo! Can someone hit the air conditioning, please? I've heard of working up a sweat, but this is ridiculous.
Alright, BMF mentions Cutting Room Floor says this was developed by Graphic Research, who you may know better from the game that has appeared on Mascot Friday widget.
Oh my god, that Graphic Research. I read GDRI and they said that Graphic Research just did the sound, but really it could have been them developing for all I know.
So Graphic Research, according to Codeman, did audio work for a lot of Vic Tokai's later stuff.
Okay, so they had a pretty good relationship then. Now the boss of this level... Oh, hang on. You gotta see what he says here.
Yeah, you do.
This is important. That's why I made the damn save state. He says, well... Upon seeing this in front of him...
Same!
Well... What do you know? A stone elephant. You're gonna look great on my lawn!
Oh my god.
Yeah, this guy's kind of an asshole. In this fight, you have to do things a little bit differently. You gotta kick stuff back at the elephant. Let me see if I can actually win this fight. And there's only 5 levels, so I guess I'll show them all off. It shouldn't take more than a few minutes. We did have requests to see more of this game. We have played it before.
So, yeah, this is a monster party boss fight? Yeah.
It kinda is, yeah. Mark, hit that giant elephant. Okay, I got him.
Nice.
Hey, you killed my stone elephant!
Looks like who's partying there? Whoa, who's that?
It's one of the minifigures you meet throughout the game who calls you the Messiah and gives you all these little MacGuffins you need to finish the game.
Looks like Robert Zadar playing Jesus here.
Wow.
Sorry.
Robert Zadar making multiple appearances during tonight's stream.
Easy with that Messiah thing.
Let's go to Japan. He's also really put out by this adventure, which really differentiates him from other NES heroes.
I like that he's exhausted, actually. I like that he's exhausted and bothered.
I should get a frequent flyer program.
Honestly, he should. It
Yeah.
actually would be really good for him.
If I were Japanese temple, where would I stand? It's right back there, dude.
Yeah, it's
Just look above you.
Mhm.
So eventually you start fighting ninjas and stuff. Game gets a little difficult, but not too tough. And there's infinite continues and a password. So they really want you to beat this game. Let's go a little bit further.
Let's see, Blab says this is very Die Hard inspired. Teeter says he's starting to sound like Bubsy.
The Messiah cometh. You're in for a great deal of pain, says Silk, and he says, spoken like a true Messiah.
Video Game King says I'm getting Ernest Evans vibes from this. Yeah, I'm kind of getting
bit.
that.
Now, one thing none of these bosses counted on was Silk having a gun.
I love that. They're like,
You can just gun him down.
we don't even, yeah.
That part feels a little bit unbalanced to me. Maybe that's part of why it got unreleased.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet this last guy, and he gives us the third MacGuffin we need.
Bubsy is my Messiah. Bubsy is the Messiah. What if in Bubsy they called him the Messiah? Great.
Anyway, something about bringing along the apocalypse. Basically a copy of the story from Ninja Gaiden 1.
Cool.
But it turns out you gotta go back to the Incan temple that you started out in. Which I think is a nice touch. Gotta go back there and check up on Reiko.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna hide the Sacred Chalice in holy water. So Vince McMahon can't get him.
So you can have his stupid stone.
I'm just gonna take my girl and split, he says. So we see this cutscene again, because it's cool.
Sorry, I love the different layers here. It's so nice.
Yeah, you gotta love that NES parallax.
Mm-hmm.
Just adds a touch of class. Oh, he's got a hang glider. And this is it, the last level. We've come so far. Can it, Vince?
Scum!
Brought you your Stone of Ages. Now bring me the girl. So help me. You've harmed just one hair on her head. Hey, it's Reiko.
She okay?
Wait a minute, you're not Reiko. And here's maybe my favorite part of the game. The fake Reiko is named Fako.
Yes! Fako! This rules! No, this kicks ass.
Most women are satisfied with dinner and a movie.
Wah, wah. Sounds more like Gex to me here.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Fako is by far the toughest boss fight in the game because she attacks you with slide kicks and a flying butt attack. Like, check that out. Okay, you gotta do the butt attack, lady. Come on. There it is.
Oh my god, you're right!
See, she attacks you ass first. I think in Japan they call it a flying hip attack.
Oh, wow.
They should just call it what it is. Attacking with your butt.
Yeah, she's the lost Fakagoon.
You haven't seen the last of me, big boy. Yeah, the lost Fakagoon. And anyway, Fako tells you where Vince is. Mm-hmm. There's an underground elevator.
Lover boy.
She still wants him, though. No man can resist... I mean, no woman can resist Master Silk.
Honestly,
the
no
great
man
thief.
either. Let's
Yeah,
be honest.
true. Let's cut to the final save state. We're about to beat the game here. Wait, do we go this way, or... It's fine.
You're good.
I remember this game. I just played this yesterday.
Those guys all look like Bluto.
Kinda,
like
yeah.
From Popeye.
Yeah, you fight against the evil Bluto.
I wish they wouldn't try to kill the Messiah, but...
Wait, I was going the wrong way, actually.
Oh, oops.
Hang on, the stream will take a couple more minutes than I thought. Yeah, here we go. Now we're on track. We're ready to beat this game. And there is a lot more dialogue and more gameplay to this game, and I recommend you check it out if this looks interesting to you. Because it is a fascinating piece of gaming history that was kind of a miracle that we found alongside other priceless artifacts when we did. Like Sunman, who even knew that was in development?
Yeah! Yeah, if I recall, that was something nobody even knew existed until y'all found it, but okay.
Yeah, it was just Sunman, out of nowhere. From some Spanish collector. Oh shit, what is this? I didn't see that coming.
Well, rip Danny.
I'll get her this time. You just jump kick at her.
Okay,
there we
she
go.
doesn't even like that. That should be like Fako too. Oh shit, it's the real Reiko.
The real Reiko.
Reiko.
He has a nice new Stone of Ages, and he's going to use it to revive the great giant Kyojin. Not Kyojin, the legendary pyramid mover. Oh shit, it's the guy who made the pyramids.
Oh no.
It's the first boss we fight, only he's being evilly transformed into the pyramid mover.
So he's just buff and handsome now.
Mm-hmm, and super big.
He's
that is
huge!
That is one big dude right there. But there's one thing the big dude didn't count on, and that was me having a gun. Hey, pyramid mover, move this.
That guy just straight up looks like a wrestler. He looks like he's in Ring of Honor
He's done.
or
That's
something.
it. We finished it.
Game over?
The great pyramid mover could not stand up to my gun. That's it. We did it.
Alright.
Still got this gun with plenty of damage left to do. Check it out. Reiko springs into action.
Yes!
Kicks his ass. I guess even messiahs need a sidekick.
Wah wah. Oh shit, Dan, you better go.
Yeah, we should go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make tracks. Never a dull moment with my Silk.
God, it would make sense if Vince McMahon there turned someone into a wrestler. Okay.
We're gonna make another big show. We're gonna call him Bigger Show.
Biggest show.
And of course, because this is in the style of Castlevania, you gotta see the castle collapse. Or
Oh, that's
explode in
cool!
this case. Wow.
Wow.
It just blew up. Well, The big show blew up.
Big Show's fucking dead.
There he is, looking more go-go than ever.
But he's happy, which is not the thing I think of when I think of Golgo.
Oh yeah, and this guy has a mouth on him, which Golgo does not. No legend or myth can correct 1,000 years' damage to our planet. And unless we all make a concentrated... Oh, here we go. We all make a concentrated effort to do something about it. The only way to go will be down. Uh-huh? What are you talking about? Nothing, honey. Just thinking out loud. Now, how about a real vacation? Perhaps we could visit some old Incan temples for fun this time. Just be sure to remind me to find a new line of work when we get back. This Messiah thing is just too much. I'll tell you what's too much, Silk. You're too much.
Never a dull moment with you, Silk.
And that's Secret Ties.
That was great.
This is a good game. It's maybe not up to the standards of 91, 92. I could see this really making an impact in 89 or 90. But even with English text by Jimmy D and MC Kaya,
Good job, Jimmy D.
this game could not make it to market. So yeah, a real shame, but it is good that we discovered this game, and in a semi-complete state, too. I'd say there's nothing about this that really seems incomplete, aside from maybe the UI, but that's about it. Visuals by Cappuccino K.
Delicious.
Does Moby Games have these credits? Anyone want to compare these against other Vic Tokai games? I'm curious if this is from the Golgo team.
I'm getting the music here.
Hawaiian Mishima.
That's my favorite kind of Mishima.
So there you go, that's the story of Vic Tokai, plus one game that didn't quite make it. Secret Ties.
That is so cool.
Overall, I'd say they had a much, much better ratio of good games to bad games than Taxan. Yeah, 92. The title screen actually says 91, but the credits say 92. And this game would have been a little behind the times in 92.
BMF points out that this game straight up stole Ninja Gaiden's number font.
Might as well steal from your inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta steal from the best.
Again, steal big or don't steal it all, baby.
Steal big or steal home. Alright, let's do what we did with Taxan. Let's rank the games, whether they were good or bad. Golgo 13, good. Bump and Jump, I would say is good. I had a decent amount of fun with it. All Pro Basketball, that sucked. That was bad.
That was bad.
Clash at Demonhead, good.
Mm-hmm.
Conflict?
I am conflicted over whether or not I think that's a good game.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Who are you,
sorry.
Master Thief Silk? Feet don't fail me now. Okay, so we got... Let's call Conflict bad for the sake of argument.
Okay.
So we got too bad, too good. Kid Kool bad. Kid
Bad.
Kool so bad. Kid Kool the worst.
Bad.
Terra Cresta, I'll give it a good. That's a
Okay.
good game. So 3 good, 3 bad. Mafat Conspiracy, I'll be nice. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
And Crayon Conquest was also good. So
It
that's
was.
something like a 66% hit ratio
That's not
compared
bad.
to Taxan's 50-50 sort of thing.
All right.
And there you go, 2 minor publishers from the NES era. Both started strong and then just left right away. In Taxan's case, that's because they wanted to consolidate into Naxat Soft. For Vic Tokai, they just wanted to move to 16-bit. They saw where the future was, and they decided this 8-bit shit is for the birds. Cancel that Secret Ties. I don't care if it's complete. We gotta make some Genesis games. That's Vic Tokai. That's Taxan. And that's Retro Pals. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so I just want to say the stinger is literally from a Taxan ad. And
Is
it's
that Low G Man?
No, it's an ad that was in the first edition of their newsletter in EGM, and it had like it was in the same style as whatchamacallit, but it was like brutal, really rad.
Did that have
outrageous?
Mouse Cop on the page?
Yes, it did.
Mouse Cop is brutal and outrageous. I wouldn't say he's really rad. They must have been talking about something else.
They must have been bad. That must have been typo.
But that's another episode of Retro Pals, another Spotlight session. Hope you all enjoyed. That was fun. It's always good to speed through all these games and just try and remember all the things that I learned about these games. And some of them I had a personal stake in, so you got some exclusive information on Secret Ties tonight. for whatever that's worth.
The secret of secret ties.
The secret of secret ties. Yeah, that's it. We are Retro Pals.
We sure are.
We do this sort of thing every week. If you want to vote on our Wednesday polls, go to patreon.com/retropals, pitch in $5 a month, and you can vote for what we play in our Wednesday streams.
Mm-hmm.
This week was judged by just one vote. That is the power you wield by becoming a Retro Pals patron. You can decide who lives and who dies, whether Taxan or Seta will get the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
That's all up to you. And thanks once again to all of our patrons for voting.
Yes, thank you all very much.
This was a good suggestion. A nice, good variety of games, and a really odd time for two odd companies.
Yeah, this was actually a really good choice this time.
Yeah, it was fun to explore that. I'm going to look for someone to host. Alex, wrap us up.
All right, we are also on Twitter at twitter.com/retropalshq. If you follow us there, you'll see when we go live, when we have new videos up on YouTube, and we also post our Mascot Friday polls there as well. So if you're interested in voting in those, do check out our Twitter account. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/retropals. There we post highlights of our streams, like short and edited versions of them. We've also got some original content. We've got our first episode of our podcast is up there, and we put archival material up there as well. So do check that out if you are interested in that. And yeah, I think that's all wrap up I've got from here.
Yep.
For here.
We are all over the internet, and there's a bunch of places you can find the Retro Pals.
Mm-hmm.
So do that. Go find us.
Also, I haven't mentioned this in a while, but if you are looking to see our Mascot Friday polls, do check out retropals.club. I haven't updated it to the new aesthetic, but you can find a lot of our links and all that good stuff there. So check that out as well.
Oh yeah, and we will have a poll this Friday afternoon.
Yes.
I'm thinking we're due for 3D platformers, right? So maybe PS1?
Ooh.
It's been a few weeks since we hit PS1. Let's go ahead and do that. So look forward to PS1 mascots this Friday. I'm going to leave y'all off with the latest episode of Kuso Grande Invitational over at the Games Done Quick channel, because they are playing a personal favorite, a game by the name of Floating Runner.
Ooh! Ooh!
Yeah, this is a really super early 3D platformer. In fact, we covered it in our episode about Mario 64 on our YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. This was pre-Bubsy 3D, people. This is pre-Mario 64, pre-pretty much anything. And no one who made this game knew what they were doing. So have fun watching people compete in it. Have a good night. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
See ya, folks.